Hello, friends, family, and other wonderful creatures. Welcome to this virtual world. This is me, and this is my Sprinter van, which I'm very fond of. There's nothing like the freedom of being able to travel without constraints. Just the other day I took a trip and started thinking about greenhouse gas emissions, which I find very hard to fully conceptualize. You encounter these gigantic numbers, and it's almost like trying to imagine the scale of the universe. Our brains just aren't built for that. But about here, I realized I'd driven my own weight in miles. And since the average car emits about 1 pound of carbon dioxide per mile, I asked myself, what would I look like if I were made of carbon dioxide? So as it turns out, my carbon dioxide counterpart is 50 feet tall, and I produce one of these monsters for every 135 miles that I drive. That's with my vehicle getting around 19 miles per gallon, which isn't great, but it's also not that far off from the US national average of 22.5 miles per gallon. And at this point, I think we should get angry. They aren't really angry at me or you. We aren't really the ones that created this situation where the only way for us to survive and thrive is to participate in the destabilization of our atmosphere. In fact, the concept of a personal carbon footprint was initially promoted by oil and gas industries, and that's because it's a brilliant way to get anyone who cares about these issues to feel incredibly guilty and focus on themselves, which in turn helps ensure that these industries stay relevant and continue to enjoy the benefits of trillions of dollars in annual subsidies worldwide. That being said, I could definitely do better. For example, a Toyota Prius at 50 miles per gallon would produce giants at 1/3 the rate. This image compares the two vehicles for 1 year, using an average annual mileage of 13,500 miles. So far, all we've considered are the emissions produced directly in the vehicle's engine, but we can also add the emissions associated with producing that fuel, which works out to an additional 30% for gasoline-powered vehicles and an additional 24% for diesel. Even in the Prius, that is still a tremendous amount of carbon dioxide. Let's keep the Prius and take a closer look at our annual emissions. So what about electric vehicles? Well, that really depends a lot on how the power is generated. In certain areas that depend heavily on renewables, the footprint is negligible, while in others you're not even that much better off. There's one more category of monster that we have to consider, and that's the emissions associated with manufacturing a vehicle. These giants are over 360 feet tall, and they're not going away anytime soon. Carbon-neutral manufacturing doesn't exist, and it doesn't look like it's going to exist for a very long time. So now let's go back to this scene from the intro, this time with my new vehicle and the carbon footprint of producing it. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment, share with as many people as you can, and always be aware of the monsters around you, and most importantly, regardless of what vehicle you drive, don't blame yourself. It's not your fault, and that's only going to get in the way. I've also set up a Patreon page. With enough support, I would love to remake this video with a higher production value and produce additional content. That's it. Stay angry until next time.